Okay, it looks like we're recording. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Daily Walk Edition. This is episode number 17. I'm back at Red Morton Park in beautiful Redwood City, California. I'm out here a little bit later than usual today because I had some things to take care of in the home office. As you're all aware, I've been preparing uh, a new home studio, an awesome new home studio with some of the same equipment I had, and I got a few new things to help enhance it a little bit. So I've been focusing on getting that all set up, and it's been taking some time. And that's going to be for, you know, live streams that I do from my place with my brand new gigabit fiber connection, gigabit up and down, and maybe some in-home studio videos that I do down the road when I start responding to emails and special questions and special requests that people have out here on the internet. And I got to be real careful because it's almost lunchtime and lots of people are going to be coming in and out of this place. So this is going to be an interesting daily walk right now at a busy time during a busy time at the park, which is what I'm trying to say. But I will do my best to minimize interruptions because I have another great topic here to discuss today that I am extremely, extremely passionate about, very, very passionate about. And it may be shocking for some of you to hear what I'm going to say today, but I'm going to say it anyway because, quite frankly, I just don't give a shit. I want to get my message out there. I want to get my message out there and really share with people how I feel based on what I've been going through and things that I have been experiencing and many other men have been experiencing as well, and maybe many other women as well. I'm not going to leave women out of this as well because this does involve both men and women. So let's just get right to it. Let's get to episode number 17 of Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, the Daily Walk Edition. Oh, yeah, and by the way, lots of great things coming up. Again, this Friday, my interview with Charles F. Gray, who is a great longtime YouTube content creator. Met him about a year and a half ago or so when I used to be on YouTube. And he's just a great guy. We reconnected, and I have decided to allow him to give me my post YouTube interview. A lot of people requested that of me a month or so after I left YouTube. I've been gone from YouTube almost 3 months, and I just wasn't really up to doing it at that point, but I changed my mind, and I decided to give it to Charles because I really want to talk about what happened since that point. I want to talk about what happened when I was on YouTube. I want to talk about how it affected my relationship. And I'm going to do this all in a very, professional way where I'm not going to be kicking anyone down. I've mentioned this many times before, but I'll mention it again just to be very clear. I'm not going to be kicking any of my exes down. They were all wonderful experiences. But I'm just going to share how everything that I went through and everything that I did affected my relationships, affected my personal life, affected my professional life, affected everything. I want people to see in real time what an average, everyday, typical man or person goes through in today's modern world, to try to enjoy the best life possible. And as I've mentioned, there are many more challenges people go through nowadays. I've mentioned this many times in the past. That's why I'm doing this whole coaching thing again, is the fact that in today's modern world, there are many, many additional challenges we've never faced before. And it's just really affecting things. So with that being said, let's just move forward and get to the topic of today's video here. And that topic is YouTube doomed for creators? And a message to MGTOW, which is the men going their own way community, plus our social networks and the mainstream media silencing the truth. One more time. Let's repeat the topic here. Okay. Is YouTube doomed for creators? And a message to MGTOW, the men going their own way community, plus our social networks, along with the mainstream media, silencing the truth. Meaning that are they silencing the truth in regards to what's actually happening in today's modern world of feminism? I'm just going to come out and say it because that's what's affecting everything nowadays, and people don't want to see it. It's feminism. No disrespect to women. I love women. It's just the truth. And feminism affects you. All you good women out there that don't take advantage of the system and request for special privileges above and beyond the civil rights you've been given, which I feel you should have. It affects you because you're good women that deserve to have a good life and not have to deal with all this BS that, we're all going through in today's day and age because of feminism. So the good women out there, the women that are ruining it, not just for men, are also ruining it for you. And that's one thing I want to make very clear. And that's all many men out there that feel the same way as I do are trying to say. But we're getting silenced. We're getting silenced when we say it. And I'll talk more about that, why I feel we're getting silenced in just a little bit here. So let's first start off by discussing, is YouTube doomed for creators? Okay. I saw this coming when I was on YouTube last year. When I was originally on YouTube, I was monetized pretty quickly. This was a couple years ago. All you needed to do to get monetized back then was reach 10,000 views, you apply for monetization, and then you get monetized. Then what happened? The advertisers started getting ticked off because they said that the ads that you're putting on these creators' videos are not advertiser friendly and they're upsetting our customers. They don't represent our brand properly. We don't want to sponsor these channels. So YouTube started to create this system to where, they started putting these yellow icons on videos that they felt were not advertiser friendly. And what it would say next to your video in your video manager, when the system would identify one of those videos as not advertiser friendly, it would say limited or no ads. Or meaning that, this video is not suitable for most advertisers. Pretty much if you get that yellow icon, then you're demonetized on that video. You're not getting shit for money. Okay? And then they had the black symbol where if it was really, really bad, it would just not be monetized to any advertisers out there, which to me was no different than having the yellow icon, because whenever I had a yellow icon when I was monetized initially, a year and a half or 2 years ago when I started my channel, I didn't make any money off of those videos. So anyway, so what happened? YouTube changed their policy about 6 months later, and basically required you to have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 minimum watch time hours in the previous 12 months in order to keep your monetization. And many of us were below that level. And during that time, it was already harder to grow on YouTube and gain subscribers and to get your message out there because the community was already flooded. And the algorithm had changed so much that it was favoring larger channels. So smaller channels, we're going to have a hard time reaching that new threshold of 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 minimum watch time hours in the 30-day period that they gave us to do it, or they were going to remove our monetization. Well, what happened? I actually made it on the very last day. Got over 1,000 subscribers and had well over 4,000 watch hours. But YouTube's system still demonetized me. Then I had to reapply for monetization. And then I waited and waited and waited and waited and waited for, God, it was another, 5-6 months after that. And I still was not remonetized. They kept saying there was this big backlog. They had to go through and manually review every channel. And it got to the point of where, at that point, some other terrible things were happening on my channel to the point of where I was going to shut it down anyway. So I just shut down my channel. And at that point, I realized that YouTube is not the platform it used to be for small creators, for, the unique individual creators that bring their own spin on whatever it is they want to talk about, because that's what it was created for initially. Okay? So I'm here to say, folks, that you're not going to make money on YouTube if you start a new channel. At least you're not going to make money from ad revenue or any type of, Google monetization or YouTube monetization. You're not going to make any money. What I still think YouTube is good for is to get SEO through Google, and it will help you get your message out there. But as far as revenue, you're going to have to create your own revenue platform, PayPal, Patreon, or have a website you can redirect people to where you're selling them something or selling your services. Okay. Now, when I say in this video, I have a message from MGTOW. This video was inspired by what I've noticed has been going on in the MGTOW community lately. And before I explain why I'm even talking about MGTOW, even though I have left the MGTOW community, I'm no longer a part of it. It is the community that I got involved with that pretty much, give me 1 second here. It is a community I got involved with that pretty much kind of like destroyed the purpose of my channel. And because I got my girlfriend involved at the time, which I shouldn't have, it kind of, created a big chaos with some of the people in the community that were anti-woman. So, give me 1 second here. I'm kind of losing my thought here because this is a very touchy subject for me, and I want to make sure that I get my words out properly. So basically, getting involved with MGTOW, to run my coaching business where I was helping people, better their relationships, was not the right thing. But I will say something here. If I look back at it now, it's not MGTOW that, ruined my relationship or ruined my coaching business. I got involved with certain people that claim to be MGTOW that I really think are not MGTOW, that were just, making my life miserable, doing parody videos on me and my girlfriend at the time, and just doing whatever it would take to try to kick us down because they got off on that. It was entertainment for them. So it was my mistake to allow it to get to that point. But I'm here to say today, from what I've seen in the MGTOW community recently, because I mentioned in the previous video about a week ago or so, when I reconnected with Charles F. Gray, he made me aware of a CNN interview that a very prominent MGTOW content creator, did with a famous CNN, host named Lisa Ling. Big John, who used to run the MGTOW's Freedom Channel, and he now runs the Society for Men's Freedom Channel. He did an interview with Lisa Ling, and he had done this about maybe 6 to 8 months ago, and I was well aware of it. Big John had told me when CNN was flying him down to LA to record the interview, and him and I were in touch because Big John actually lives in Northern California, not too far from where I live. Okay. So basically, what's been happening since that interview was released, and then a bunch of MGTOW content creators started promoting it on their YouTube channels, okay, or talking about it, or putting Big John or MGTOW in their description section or in their title of their video. YouTube has demonetized all their videos. That's for those MGTOW content creators that were monetized. My good friend Charles F. Gray, who's going to be interviewing me on Friday, he actually had promoted the Big John interview that I was going to be coming sometime soon, about 6 to 8 months ago when I first made him aware of it. And he ended up putting that video to private because Big John reached out to him and said that, you know what, CNN wants to keep this hush hush for now because they want to be the exclusive on it. So can you take down that video? So what Charles F. Gray did is he actually put that video to private. But once that interview was released and it was public information, it was okay to, put that video back to public. So what did Charles F. Gray do? He put that video back to public, and immediately all of his videos that had the green icon that were monetized on this channel went to yellow, demonetized, including videos that had to do with pottery or some shit like that, or gardening or tools, like the most safest and most G-rated videos out there, were demonetized. The system went through his whole channel because of that one video that he made public again that had Big John in the title and MGTOW and CNN interview on MGTOW or whatever. It triggered the system. So obviously YouTube has something in their system to shut all this stuff down. To further prove that, they're trying to silence this, many other channels that that are MGTOW related that discuss this, they also got demonetized. Now, it really bugs me that they got demonetized because this interview was a good thing. The clip that they showed regarding this interview was about a 4 or 5 minute clip of the hour and a half or so long video that I heard, or the hour and a half or so long interview that I heard, Big John had with Lisa Ling in LA. So they kind of trimmed it down to what they wanted to put out there. That's what the mainstream media does. They put what they want you to see, not what the whole thing, was about. Because I'm sure if they aired that entire hour and a half long video, which I hope it surfaces somewhere one day, that you would have seen some more open-minded, outgoing, and straightforward and raw and real Big John. But CNN put out there what they wanted to put out there. They wanted to represent what MGTOW is, or what these MGTOW guys, feel is going on with modern-day feminism, in the way they wanted to present it, not in the way it's actually happening. And that's a big problem. That's what the mainstream media does. Okay? So, anyway, so what has this done, for people that have been creating on YouTube? Whether you're MGTOW or not MGTOW, I'm telling you right now, YouTube is no longer the platform you're going to make money on. Okay? And if you're going to put videos out on YouTube, this is my suggestion. And this is what I'm probably going to do with the Coach Eli brand. I'm probably going to create another channel that's called Navigating the Modern World with Coach Eli, and I'm just going to put my videos on there. I'm going to disable all comments. I'm not going to do any live streams there. And it's just going to be a place where my videos can get ranked on YouTube on on Google. And all I'm going to do is redirect people to Facebook or wherever or my website and just use the YouTube and Google platform to redirect people off of it. Because Google and YouTube have a monopoly and they're trying to control everything. And this just further proves it. They don't care about the small creator. They don't care about the small content creator that actually made YouTube what it is today. All they care about is the money, and all they care about is appeasing the right people that are going to keep making them money. And if you don't know, I've mentioned this in the past. When I used to run my coaching business, I don't think I've mentioned this yet in any video that I've done since I brought back my coaching business a couple weeks ago and started doing these videos here on Facebook, is that women hold 85% of the buying power in today's day and age. They hold 85% of the buying power. So think about it. If you allow this content out there on YouTube or the mainstream media that is anti-feminism, it's going to offend women. And basically, women are going to be so upset about it that the commercials that run alongside any program attached to that message, women are going to boycott that. So they're going to stop spending money. That's what I think is really happening here. That's one of the main reasons why I feel that this MGTOW message is being silenced. Now, do I completely agree with the MGTOW message? Let's talk about that. I am back to talking about that. I'm just going to be straightforward, and I'm coming from a better place now, so I can speak about it, in a clear and concise way. I am a single man. I've been out of my relationship for over 3 months. I'm speaking clearly right now based on just my thoughts. Do I agree with everything MGTOW does? No. But do I agree with the majority of their principles that involve modern day feminism and how feminism has pretty much destroyed, male and female relationship dynamics in the way they were meant to naturally be? Absolutely. Do I feel a lot of the principles, that they teach are right on par with what I believe in, what I teach? Absolutely. The only things that I don't agree with when it comes to MGTOW is the men that don't take ownership for their mistakes in a relationship or a divorce, because a marriage or a relationship is a two-way street between a man and a woman, or two people. If you're gay, lesbian, bi, trans, etc. But I'm just speaking from the heterosexual perspective right now. A relationship is a two-way street. Both people participate, both people do great things in their relationship, and both people make mistakes. And even if it's the woman that breaks up with the man, in the case of the MGTOW community, or the woman divorces the man in the case of the MGTOW community, that doesn't mean that she was the only one that made mistakes in the marriage or relationship. You had your part in it as well. And that's the only problem I have with MGTOW men, is that they cannot admit their faults that they made in their relationship or their marriage. But besides that, all their content is great, and I agree with most of it. Okay, and I feel what these people are saying out there, what these MGTOW men going their own way guys are saying out there in today's day and age, is actually happening. And that's why they're being silenced. They're being silenced because they're calling out the truth. But what happens if the mainstream media and platforms like YouTube, Facebook, and other platforms allow men to talk about this freely? what would actually happen in that situation if they allowed it to happen? Again, a lot of the women would get upset and they would probably boycott the platform. And what happens when women boycott the platform? That's half the population boycotting the platform. How much money is that going to cost them? Okay? That would be the demise of their platform. Okay? And because women are more naturally emotional and sensitive, you know, to subjects than men are, women are more prone to just drop something like it's hot, drop it like it's hot immediately without thinking about the logical aspect of it. That's the difference between men and women, is that women base their reactions on their emotion. They initially don't use any logic on it. And even if I logically explain to a woman how much feminism is affecting you as well as it's affecting me as a man, they're going to just initially think that, oh, I'm just being bitter, or I'm just angry, or I'm just unhappy at the fact that women have equal rights to men nowadays. No, it's not the fact that women have equal rights to men. It's the fact that some women take it a bit too far and they want special privileges, and they're getting special privileges that men never got, never ever got, and would never ever request to get. Okay? So what I'm trying to say here is YouTube doomed for creators? Yes, it is. And what is my suggestion to all you MGTOW guys out there? Look, to some of you guys out there, in all honesty, I think you're great guys. I'll come out here 3 months after my breakup because my ex is no longer involved. You know, I no longer, have to, you know, watch what I say as much. I'm not saying I watched what I said as much when she was around, but yeah, she's a woman. I had to take her feelings into consideration and I wanted to. But right now I have a clear head. Right now, as a single man, I have a clear head, and I'll say, you know what? There are some good MGTOW guys out there. I started watching a few MGTOW creators again every so often, um, or I started tuning in recently to some MGTOW content creators to see what was going on with this mass YouTube demonetization since the Big John CNN interview hit. And I saw an hour-long live stream from Sydney MGTOW. Hey, Sydney, just in case you're watching this, man, great live stream you did where you had over 500 people on your stream. Big John, you put out a new video I think it was about 6 days ago or so, regarding the CNN interview. Great job on that. Okay. Charles F. Gray, I've been watching your stuff as well, and that's pretty much to the extent. There are a couple other new MGTOW content creators that don't know who I am that I've been watching, and I can't remember them by name. But it's been some pretty good stuff, and I've been watching these videos and just seeing how frustrated these guys are, and they don't want to be frustrated. Even Sydney MGTOW said, he's like, you know what? We don't hate women. He goes, I don't hate women. Sydney MGTOW hates feminism. And Sydney MGTOW feels the same way as I do about it. He's like, look, like most women nowadays, they want to act like men. They behave like men. They exude more masculine energy than feminine energy. And what happens? When they come home to us, they act like men, and we don't want to make out or be intimate with a man. We want to be intimate with a soft, sweet, loving, caring, nurturing woman. But because of modern day feminism being taken too far, okay, a lot of women have shifted away from their natural essence of being feminine and behaving more masculine because that's what it takes to make it in the workforce. That's what it takes to be independent. Women nowadays are completely out of their natural essence and element. Even to the successful women out there that are running a business, that has always been more masculine energy than feminine energy. And I'm not trying to take anything away from women that want to work or that do work. I respect that. I respect and appreciate that. But you got to understand that what you are doing is more of a masculine trait than a feminine trait in the way the good Lord made you to be. Again, do what you got to do. I'm not trying to take away from you wanting to work. I'm not trying to take anything away from you. All I'm saying is that this has affected relationship dynamics between men and women up to the point of where MGTOW guys, say don't get married, don't do it. It's not worth it. And I got to tell you, I got to be honest with you. I've always believed in marriage. I've always believed in marriage, and I wanted to get married. And even, when I was with my ex, you know, I was considering marrying her. We talked about it because I really loved what I had with her. But once she broke it off with me, you know, and basically she just shut me out completely, didn't give me a chance to at least try to work through it. Okay, it's made me wonder if marriage is even worth it. I'm at the point right now where, you know, I love the company of a woman and I enjoy being around a good woman and I do want a loving, caring, nurturing relationship. But when it comes to marriage, when it comes to marriage, knowing that a woman can just get up and walk away at any minute or leave you at any minute, leave you any minute for any reason, is it worth the risk? Is it worth the risk of going through a divorce and losing your shit and losing it all? Is it worth it? Because back in the days, before, civil rights, before women got civil rights, before the second wave of the women's movement really started, changing things for women, women were completely dependent on men for everything. So they would never leave a man. They had to stay with the man. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that, that if a woman was in an abusive relationship before, the civil rights movement came out and things changed for women, that they should have stayed in that marriage. But women were more loyal and faithful to men when they were 100% dependent on them for everything. Nowadays, because they make their own money, because they have their own jobs, they have their own cars, they have their own homes, apartments. They'll leave you at the drop of a dime. If one little thing goes wrong, if the sex is not good, okay? If you as a man have an emotional breakdown, they might, stop trusting you. They might just, start. They may just, start feeling that they can't, feel safe around you because you had an emotional moment, which is completely normal. There are many reasons that women will just get up and leave. So getting married is a huge risk. And I believe in marriage. I've always believed in marriage. I was raised to believe in marriage, but now, after my last relationship, and MGTOW or not, I mean, yeah, I know that's what MGTOW's been preaching all this time is don't get married, you know, don't cohabitate, don't get married. MGTOW or not, I question whether I ever want to get married myself. Is it worth it? Is it worth the risk? Why not just date a woman for 20 years? I guess then you'd have what's called a common law marriage, but, you know, at least, you know, before it would become a common law marriage, at least you would have, an option to move out if you're living with her, or end the relationship without losing any resources. The risk for men is losing our resources. I'll tell you something. In the relationships I've been in, I've always helped women better themselves. It's almost been like I've been the fixer, where I help them get back on track. And once they get back on track, guess what happens? They end up leaving me. And then they end up saying, I'm in a better place now. Of course you're in a fucking better place. I helped you get there. I emotionally supported you, even somewhat financially supported you, and I did things for you that helped you reach that level. And now you're there, you feel you don't fucking need me anymore. And you won't even admit that I was the one that helped you get there, and without me, you probably wouldn't have made it. I'm not saying that all women wouldn't have been able to make it, but a lot of women still depend on men to make it. They're just a lot more quiet about it in today's day and age because of modern day feminism. that preaches, hey, ladies, we don't need a man for anything. Let's get rid of all the men on this planet. Let's get rid of all the men on this planet and see how ladies survive without men. Okay? Let's see. When the power goes out during a big storm, are they going to climb up to an electrical pole to restore power when it's raining and risk getting electrocuted to try to restore power to their city? Some would, but not all. I know many women don't like doing that kind of shit, but there are a ton of men that enjoy it, that love it, that do it for a living. And there are so many other jobs out there that women, are allowed to do nowadays. But even though that they're allowed to do it because of the women's movement, they still would rather not do it and don't want to do it. So how would a world without men be for women? I don't think women would make it, to be honest with you. But you come out and say that, and then, women get pissed off because they're saying, well, are you saying that we can't do the same shit that men can do? Well, maybe we are, but we're not saying it because we're trying to kick you down. We're being realistic about it. Maybe there are some women that are capable of doing it or would want to do it, but there are many that just aren't capable of doing it or don't want to do it. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. Both men and women were put on this planet for a purpose. We have our individual purposes. I was made to be a man, and women were made to be women. Okay? I'm not going to try to do things that were made for women. See, the thing is that women in today's day and age they want to do the same things that men have always done, or that men have always done, is what I'm trying to say. But do you see men trying to do things that only women used to do? Maybe in some rare circumstances, yeah, maybe you have some stay-at-home dads instead of stay-at-home moms, and then the woman is the breadwinner, and the husband stays home taking care of the kids. You see that occasionally, but still, it doesn't happen as often as the other way around. Men are not going out there trying to do things that were once only known as things that women would do. But women are going out there and they want to do everything that men have always been able to do. And again, it's fine if you want to do that. And if you're qualified to do that. See, you got all these kids back here asking if I'm vlogging here. And yeah, I am a vlogger. You got all these kids that are addicted to these damn smartphones, and they can spot them a mile away. I'm trying to avoid them, and they're like, "Are you vlogging? Are you?" I don't know if you could hear them or not, but they just get excited over that shit. But anyway, so how far have I gone here today? Let's see, where are we at? I can't even see here. I'm at 38 minutes. I'm going to start walking back to my car, drop this off, and then wrap this up in about 10 minutes. Look, I woke up today and I started thinking about this topic, and I'll be honest, it reminded me of my last relationship or my past relationships in general that have failed. And it got me thinking about, where do I want the rest of my life to go? I want to fall in love and grow old with a woman and have a family. I've always wanted that. And then I start thinking about all this stuff that these MGTOW guys have talked about, and I start thinking about what I've been through and the way the modern world is, and I'm starting to wonder, is that going to be a possibility? And even if I am with somebody in that situation, how real is it going to be? Are they going to be faithful? Are they going to be committed? Are they going to stick around through thick and thin? Because that's what I thought was going to happen in my last relationship. The problem nowadays is that women have too many options to opt out. And because they're emotional beings, they're more prone to opt out immediately and shut you out and let them give you a chance to explain yourself. And that's the scary thing. The scary thing that men have to deal with are women's emotions, especially when women close off emotionally. Some women will just say, I'm done. Don't ever talk to me again. Even if you invested 5 or 10 years of your life with them, they shut you out. And it doesn't matter how much you did for them to help them, make them a better person, and give them a better life during that time. All of that is wiped out. All of that is wiped out in a moment because of their emotions. There's nothing logical about it. And that's what makes it risky. Women's emotions are in the moment, and that's what makes it risky for men to take chances of marrying or dating women, because their emotions can be great for a year or 2 or 3 or 4, and then all of a sudden one day their emotions feel different, and then they just get up and leave. They don't tell you. They never talk to you again. They shut you out. They take you for half your shit. And that's what I'm trying to get both men and women to realize is that women, look, you got to understand the risks men have nowadays. And you got to take all that into consideration when you're dating somebody, or if you want to have a future with somebody. You got to communicate with your partner openly and say, look, let's talk about anything and everything. I understand we're probably going to go through a lot. People go through a lot in relationships, but I want us to be able to work through anything and everything, no matter what. And ladies, tell your man, I'm not going to shut you out like other women have. Make it clear to your man that, hey, I'm not going to shut you out. Relationships aren't perfect. I expect there to be issues at some points, even though it seems to be going great right now, but I'm willing to work it through with you no matter what, as long as you're willing to work it through with me no matter what. Got to communicate better. See how fucked up people are? Some guy in a car just drove by and just yelled asshole. Maybe you could hear him. Because they see me with my selfie stick walking around here doing my show. It's all right, dude. I swear more than you on my show. And you just provided my audience some great entertainment. Here's the thing. Here's the bottom line before I start wrapping this thing up. You know, where the mainstream media and social networks are silencing, you know, the truth. They're silencing the truth, like I said, because if the truth comes out, they're going to lose 85% of their buying power, which is women. Women control the money nowadays. Women pretty much control everything nowadays. I'm being honest. I'm not trying to be bitter about it, but women control everything because that's the way our society has made it become. It's the way our society has made it become. And at the same time, it's made men less valuable. It's made men feel like we're beneath women. I'm just being honest with you folks. I'm not trying to be bitter about it. I'm stating the facts. I will never put myself beneath anybody. I will put myself alongside people that deserve to be alongside me. I will never put myself above anybody, but I will never put myself beneath anybody. I will put myself alongside any good man or any good woman that wants to be a friend or more than a friend or whatever. But in today's day and age, society is making men feel like we're beneath women. And it's empowered women to feel like they're the kings and the leaders and have full control over everything. They're not going to come out and say it, but that's just the way it is. It's the way it's been. And until that changes, I'm telling you, until that changes, which shit, I don't know if that's ever going to change. I mean, This MGTOW community has been trying to make a difference by, telling men to withdraw from society and withdraw from women, but it's really not working. It's not making any dent. Big John, that I was talking about at the beginning of this video, who runs the Society for Men's Freedom, who used to run the channel MGTOW's Freedom that was shut down by YouTube almost a year ago, he tried to start a collective of men to fight feminism, but you know what? He didn't get this. He didn't get a lot of support. He got a lot more backlash because men feel it would be too difficult to attack feminism, so they would just rather withdraw than attack it head on. You see, women got together all over the world and formed millions and millions and millions of people within their groups, and they didn't give up. They kept fighting. Men, they don't even want to try to fix this. They don't even want to try to fix this issue. Men would just rather walk away. Men are saying, it's too difficult to fight, so we're just going to walk away. It's not worth our time. When has it ever been masculine energy that it's not worth our time to fight any good cause? Okay. So it's just really sad what's going on. I know I've been all over the place with this video here. I don't, man. That dude asked me if I have a lighter. I don't. I don't smoke anymore. I used to smoke a long time ago, and up until probably maybe 8 months ago, 9, 10 months ago, I used to have an occasional one. No more. But see, people aren't afraid to stop by and ask you for anything nowadays. They'll just ask you for whatever when you're on the street. But again, I know this video's been all over the place. It just kind of saddens me what's going on with modern day feminism, how the mainstream media is portraying men, how the mainstream media is putting women on a pedestal and men in the gutter, how social media is going along with it. Think about it, ladies. I respect and love women. I respect and love the good women that, are good with having equal rights but don't request special privileges like a lot of women do nowadays. But there are a lot of women out there that call themselves feminists and they expect special privileges. And if they don't get those special privileges, they just keep complaining and whining. They file frivolous lawsuits. They do all these crazy things that they would have never done before they got civil rights. I'm all for women having civil rights, but it kind of seems like when we gave women civil rights, we gave them a loaded gun in their hand. I'm going to say that again. It just seems like, look, I'm happy that women have civil rights, but it just seems like when we gave women civil rights, we gave women a loaded gun in their hand. And if any man, even legitimately, gets in the way of that woman, he's going to be blown away. And now I'm speaking figuratively, not literally, but you know what I mean by that. And it's just sad that the world has to be this way nowadays. Sad the world has to be this way nowadays. We're at 48 minutes. I need to wrap this up soon. So I think I've drilled this topic into the ground. Look, to you MGTOW guys out there, men going their own way. To the good guys out there that respect me, respect my work, and never gave me any shit. If you want to connect with me on Facebook, send me a friend request. I'd love to connect with you. Maybe I'd be willing to do some projects with you folks, but I want to do it in a way that's civil and that makes sense. I'm not here to attack women. I'm not here to talk shit about women. I'm not here to kick anybody down. But I agree with you about the feminism thing. I agree with you regarding the women that take advantage of the system. Again, to the good women out there, that don't take advantage of the system, and you're still decent, normal women in today's day and age of modern day feminism, I fully respect you. It's to the other women that request special privileges. Those are the women, MGTOW guys, that I'm not happy with, and I think you're not happy with as well. Okay? Now, are there some asshole men out there in today's day and age? Sure, there are. But why have they become that way? I think they've become that way because of feminism. It's just their way of handling it. But I've just never seen any type of behavior as feminist behavior, has been in the last 10 years or so, or 5 to 10 years. When I was growing up, women were not like this. And a lot of men weren't behaving the way they're behaving. Things have changed. And I think we need to do whatever we can to try to get things back to the way they were before this shit just self-destructs. And that's where I'm going to end this video here today. I'm not going to be back for a second video today. I've been trying to do a second video all week. But I've just had so many other things going on. I've got a brand new office chair that I'm receiving tomorrow, and I've got a new hard drive I'm receiving today to where I'm going to revamp my computer and get it ready for my live stream. So I've got a lot of stuff going on. So that's going to be it from here. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please feel free to comment below wherever you see this video, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye now.